I don't think so. I think to some extent they do, of course. There are some similarities. But ultimately, those decisions for a nation are made by a large collective of specific actors, some individuals who play a role, but some collective actors. And that dynamic is different from how an individual deals with trauma. They are working with a very specific pedagogical orientation, which is that history, for middle school teaching materials at least, is a timeline that's made up of little building blocks, people, events, places. That is certainly one way to portray history, and I think, in my view, personally, I think that's a fairly legitimate way to portray history. I think when you do that, you want to take the next step at some point, though, and say, okay, now that we have the building blocks, let's think about how those building blocks assemble to form a story. Not one story necessarily, different kinds of stories. But then by using the building blocks, I think you do want to get to a point where you say, and this is why some things happen, not just that they happened. And that's a step that in the past Japanese history education hasn't emphasized. And it's gone unnoticed by some of the criticism, I think.